Listen to this face of a liar.
Don't beat people.
Don't beat people.
Don't beat members of the public. Don't beat even criminals. You are not allowed to beat anybody.
Okay, you're not allowed to beat anybody. Now, if you're watching from outside of Uganda, you might listen to Museveni and be like, oh, what an elder. He really cares about his people. No, he doesn't. He's a complete liar, a charlatan to say the least. Let me take you to when Bobi Wine was tortured and what Museveni said in the events.
The other day, there was a fracas in West Nile where our young friend Bobi Wine was fighting with tried to fight with security people.
No, he wasn't fighting.
I think they beat him a bit.
Uh-huh.
And then they came and said, oh, member of parliament was beaten. Where I said, okay, let me study how he was beaten. Now, when I studied, I found the man had been beaten properly in the right way.
He studied how Bobi Wine had been beaten, and then he found out that he was beaten in a very proper way. That's dementia. If he cannot remember that he's the man who gloated in the beating up of Bobi Wine, when I call him senile, that's not an ad hominem attack. And yes, indeed, broadcasting to you from these United States of the Americas. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might enjoy these conversations. I am Mordecai Murisa, and you're welcome to Mordecai Murisa Live. Exactly. This is coffee, tastes good. Okay, now let's do this. Ta-la-la-la. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful time. Please consider joining us. That's if you find this content worth of following or consuming, and subscribe. You can actually become a channel member as well and send a token of appreciation every end of the month. And you can as well support us through liking, sharing, and commenting. I'll immensely appreciate that. Listen to that music. I'm a lover of music. You shouldn't be surprised. Okay, shall we? Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about Muhoozi Kainerugaba and his dad, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Either Museveni or Muhoozi Kainerugaba know that the writing is on the wall and are desperately trying to rewrite history. They're engaging in this revisionist history, especially Museveni. Or they simply decided that if they repeat something, often enough, something that is wrong, Ugandans will forget what actually happened and start believing all these falsehoods. Now, what am I talking about? Over the past few days, Museveni and Muhoozi Kainerugaba both have made statements that have left many scratching their heads. Yoweri Museveni claimed that in his entire political life, he has never tortured or ordered the torture of a political opponent. That's quite a statement, especially coming in from a former rebel leader. The only problem is that history has a very stubborn memory. Unless we are now expected, the Ugandan people are expected to believe that the hundreds of thousands of people who died during the 1980s Bush War were somehow, did they eliminate themselves? I mean, we lost over 500,000 people. Museveni wants to tell us that, he's never killed nobody, he's never tortured nobody. A war he launched against the sitting government of Obote, or he wants us convinced that, all these people that died were actually killed by Apollo Milton Obote and Tito Okello. That claim is difficult to reconcile with Uganda's past and facts. And actually, there's proof. Museveni telling us how he's killed people in the past. And actually, that's before we even get to the current abuses of security forces over the years. I'm going to show you here where Museveni gloats in the lawlessness and impunity of our security forces. Now, Museveni aside, then there's Muhoozi Kainerugaba, his son, the neighbor baby. With him, you don't even need a history book. You don't even to search too far. You just need an internet connection. His social media posts have repeatedly sparked controversy every now and then, with threats against his political opponents and those he considers his father's political opponents. All these comments that have been condemned by not only the Ugandan people, international community, the media, but including his dad. It's almost as if his X account has become his own unofficial court exhibit. It's like, hey, see me. He's showing, he's mainstreaming his lawlessness and impunity. Now, I might forgive the geriatric Museveni. I might forgive the senility of Museveni, the demented mind of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and say, hey, probably that's old age, though I doubt he's been a pathological liar since time immemorial, since he launched this war against Obote. But I might forgive him and be like, it is a result of the senility catching up with him. But Muhoozi does not have that excuse. One is trying to rewrite history, and that is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the other is live streaming it a very, very, very way of actually live streaming the bizarre part of history. At the end of the day, the saying seems to fit perfectly, like father, like son. I'm going to show you here the evidence, and you decide yourself. Here is my commentary.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with this geriatric, senile, demented Museveni. No, now, those are not ad hominem attacks. Those are not pejoratives, absolutely not. If Museveni, who ascended to power by killing people, does not remember how he ascended to power, we lost over 500,000 people. That's dementia. That's senility. He deserves the geriatric care as we speak. Listen to this face of a liar.
Don't beat people.
Don't beat people.
Don't beat members of the public. Don't beat even criminals. You are not allowed to beat anybody.
Okay, you're not allowed to beat anybody. Now, if you're watching from outside of Uganda, you might listen to Museveni and be like, oh, what an elder. He really cares about his people. No, he doesn't. He's a complete liar, a charlatan to say the least. Let me take you to when Bobi Wine was tortured and what Museveni said. This is when jackbooted thugs from the Special Force Command beat up Bobi Wine. Listen to how Museveni commented on the events.
The other day, there was a fracas in West Nile where our young friend Bobi Wine was tried to fight with security people.
No, he wasn't fighting.
I think they beat him a bit.
Uh-huh.
And then they came and said, oh, member of parliament was beaten. Where I said, okay, let me study how he was beaten. Now, when I studied, I found the man had been beaten properly in the right way.
He studied how Bobi Wine had been beaten, and then he found out that he was beaten in a very proper way. That's dementia. If he cannot remember that he's the man who gloated in the beating up of Bobi Wine, when I call him senile, that's not an ad hominem attack. This is me describing what's going on with this man. And that is actually my last resort in as far as looking for excuses for his lying. He's a pathological liar. All he's known in his life is lying. He's manipulative. You know, I've seen a few people sharing a video of Dr. Chizabesigye where he says, one thing I know about Museveni is a strategic thinker in a very evil way. He didn't say this, but this is me adding that line. In a very evil way. The Machiavellian way of thinking. He's not a strategic thinker for all the right reasons. For transformation or transforming a country. It's like a credit you'd give to somebody who cheats. Married man or woman who cheats and be like, oh, one thing you have to know about that man is very smart in his cheating. Well, he might employ the evil smartness, but the action he's doing is against. It is immoral, illegal, unethical. Okay? It is against this union they have with their partner. So they might have used all the tactics to cheat on their spouses for many years, but that doesn't mean that they're smart. Smartness is when that smartness, that knowledge, that wisdom, that intelligence is used for all the right reasons. Giving Museveni credit for being a strategic thinker only when he's using this strategic thinking to cause mayhem, to deteriorate the situation of a country, the current state of a country. That's not smartness. That's evil smartness. So you saw Museveni. And I'm going to have to show you here. He went on to say, let me read you what he said. Where's Museveni on, I think it was UBC. Read this. This is what he said. President Museveni says that in 50 years of political and military struggle, he has never tortured or ordered the torture of an opponent. He describes torture as immoral, counter-revolutionary, and strategically wrong. Of course, we believe, how I wish he believed those words, but he doesn't. I mean, if you really believe that, then you'd have Muhoozi Kainerugaba. He would have Muhoozi Kainerugaba, his son, arrested. This is Muhoozi Kainerugaba proudly gloating in mayhem, atrocities committed against his father's political opponents. He said, personally, I'm embarrassed by our record. 22 killed in 1 week is too low. I promise to do better. What? That's the commander of our defense forces saying, we've killed only 22. I want to do better. And then he goes on to say, the first thing I think I will remove Kabobi are his balls. Talks about castrating, cutting the balls of Bobby Wine. For what? Because to them, cruelty is entertainment. Visiting all these atrocities to their political opponents sounds like music to them. He goes on to say, we will kill on sight all NUP so-called foot soldiers until Museveni says otherwise. What does he say? That we will kill all National Unity Platform foot soldiers, supporters, until my dad, Museveni, says, oh, stop. And then it goes to say, we have killed 22 of NUP terrorists because they were opposed to his dad. Now he calls them terrorists. Since last week, I'm praying the 23rd is Kabobi, derogatory term to refer to Bobby Wine, Kabobi, little Bobby Wine. And it's the same man who's going to go on and say this. Listen to Muhoozi Kainerugaba. I have a video here I'm going to have to play you. Listen to Muhoozi Kainerugaba talking about how democratic Uganda is.
Today, however, Uganda is a constitutional democracy committed to peaceful coexistence.
Do these people understand what these words mean? A constitutional democracy. This man is the commander of our defense forces. The Constitution bars him from engaging in partisan politics. He's campaigned for his dad, killed on behalf of his dad, abducted people on behalf of his dad, and then he goes on to say, Uganda is a constitutional democracy. What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Do they care about what these words mean? Do they read through these speeches, be like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to say. Uganda is a constitutional democracy. It is the Constitution that grants us something very small. It is granted to those that are suspected of committing crimes or having committed crimes. It is called due process. This man doesn't do it. He orders the abduction of his father's political opponents, takes them in a torture dungeon he refers to as basement, and then starts saying, oh, I'm now teaching them my language, Runyankore. I'm now teaching them Kiswahili. What's wrong with these people? Let me go on and show you here what I'm talking about. I had a video. For example, here, this is when he had ordered the abduction, the raiding of Bobby Wine's home. And then we went on to say, this is when our soldiers captured and released Kabobi's wife, Babi. She was very helpful in helping us find her husband. Bad news, they never found the husband. They realized that she's actually more grounded, more strong. She didn't tell nothing to them. But this is him. Oh, Uganda is a constitutional democracy. Is that constitutional democracy to you? Oh, Museveni says, do not torture people. Let me show you. What are these? How are his soldiers behaving? And what is the punishment given to them when they torture, when they beat up, when they maim innocent people? Watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at this. This encapsulates what Uganda is. This shows our security organs. You know, I don't have any, not even basic training in the military, but I know for sure that it doesn't matter where you go. The moment you put your hands up, the moment you surrender, the moment you wave the white flag, you are pretty much telling your enemy that, hey, you got me. Now you can arrest me and take me to court or take me to prison and stuff like that. But I want you to see how many men are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This young man has given up, has surrendered. Let's see how they respond. The professionals in our military. Watch. They get to him. Look at another man here, putting his hands up. Watch. They start beating the other man. Oh, we don't believe in torture. Do not torture. Blah, 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 blah. That's all hogwash. There's a simple thing called walking the talk. Order, investigation, and arrest of these people who torture. On camera. They torture people on camera. The man is still down. Watch. That's Museveni's security operatives. Do not torture, do not torture. Are you sick or what? Actually, Bobby Wine was quick to respond to Museveni when he said, oh, do not blah, blah, blah. What did Bobby Wine say? I'm going to read you here. When Museveni says, in his 56 years of political and military struggle, he's never tortured. Watch what Bobby Wine said. Pathetic liar. This coming from a man who, for 4 decades, has presided over a regime known world over for the worst forms of torture is beyond shameless. The same man who publicly said that I was beaten properly when I was tortured to near death in Arua. The same man who recently boasted that he had kept our Kenyan brothers in his fridge being subjected to incredible torture. The same man whose criminal son broadcasts images of tortured victims and threatens opponents with the most vile forms of cruelty. And all Museveni does is to come out promoting him and praising his 4 actions, sickening hypocrisy. Of course, he hopes that these denials might shield him from accountability. But the world is not stupid. A time will come when he and his henchmen will be held to account for every wound inflicted on our people. And of course, that's why he's doing it. He wants to save face. He wants to be captured by media houses, international media houses. Him saying, do not torture, do not beat. Oh, he wants them to have that image over, oh, by the way, this man is against torture. No, Museveni, it is too late. You cannot lie the world. We are here to expose your lawlessness and criminality. And just like Bobby Wine said, time is coming when you and your henchmen are going to be held to account for every wound you've inflicted onto innocent people. The time is coming. Keep on going. Keep on going. Gaddafi thought he was untouchable. Oh, king of kings, he referred to himself. Mobutu Sese Seko, there was a time when every time a news bulletin was going to be broadcasted on media houses in Congo, you'd have a photo of Mobutu Sese Seko coming out from the sky to sort of paint this image of a special kind of a person Mobutu Sese Seko was. Guess how he ended? And you can read about the rest. Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, Joseph Stalin. You can go down the list. Yahya Jammeh. I mean, the list is endless. The best way you can do this is hand over power, apologize to the nation, and let us rebuild our country. But he thinks, oh, let me lie to these people. Okay, let's see how that works. My name is Mordecai Murisa. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Bye-bye for now.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.